Hey, good morning. It's Friday, July 23rd. We're the second or day of Leo, actually the first full day. We have a full moon tonight at about 9:30. Full moons are complementary energies. We call it an opposition. Well, oppositions put things in binary. Well, we have the sun in Leo, consciousness in the sign of fiery consciousness, fixed, concentrated spirit, and then we have the moon in the complementary sign of Aquarius in air. So, what happens at this full moon is this need to balance our individual effort, our heart chakras, our energy that we personally and creatively give, be that children of the body, children of the mind, or just all of those words that begin with self expression, self worth, self validation, but self expression for sure. And then the Aquarius says, where do you tailor that expression to some larger sociological need? Community need. And our first community is the family. So the Aquarius moon can certainly give us the instinct, and with Aquarius rising, also on this full moon in Kansas City, can suggest a strong connection to that square, that tensional dynamic between Uranus, the modern ruler of Aquarius, and value oriented Taurus, and then squaring or being challenged by the Saturn in Aquarius. So that energy brings the three fixed signs to bear: Leo, concentratedly stubborn around identity and spirit; Taurus, concentratedly stubborn and perseveringly concentrated on earth or the physical world and the body and the values that come from that; and then Aquarius, the mindsets, the concentratedly focused on intellectual visions of the future. And history may not repeat itself, but it definitely does rhyme. So with both of the assimilative energies, Moon and Saturn in Aquarius, it is time to reform. It is time to not necessarily just only reevaluate, but reform differs from revolution, because often revolution brings in just the same egocentric structure, just built on a different philosophy or different principles. And we can look at the French Revolution, the American Revolution, which happened approximately three Uranian cycles ago. So Uranus is 84 years, so 84 years ago we had the Great Depression, which led to the Great World War II. 84 years before that, we had the Kansas-Nebraska sovereignty wars around chattel slavery as the Western expansionism. And happy birthday, 200 years, Missouri, August 10th, with the Missouri Compromise, which led to the Civil War. Dred Scott decision had something to do with that too. And then 84 years before that was the Revolutionary War, which lasted almost exactly 7 years, and Uranus spends exactly 7 years in each sign. So, point, we are looking at the separation of in the excess wealth and the different of class status in Uranus and Taurus with this Aquarius Leo full moon action is about all of us going inside and looking at the fourth leg of this fixity, which is Scorpio. How do we share resources? How do we share or deconstruct our egocentric selves to have a true bonding, starting with the mates that we choose, but any deep relationship that we're profound relationship that we're looking to share our souls with someone. A big mistake a lot of Westerners or a lot of people make is that soulmates are somehow sexualized and romanticized. Well, soulmate is someone that's going to challenge you on your growth and your evolution and pushing you toward wholeness. So where you have shadow self, or where you have those places that we lie or compartmentalize or put over here, soulmates will come in, and that's exactly where they're going to point and say, hey, look, and you can learn these lessons through joy as well as learning them through suffering. But lessons you will learn, Yoda speak, right? So use this full moon illumination to be able to recognize what you're individually, personally taking responsibility of, not from a control perspective, but from an inner voice and inner ability to recognize the limits of your spirit, while at the same time looking at the larger rootedness or connectedness to the soul. If you want more information on this ego soul connection, you can definitely go to ourrawmaterial.com. Our raw, R-A-W, material.com, YouTube channel, Instagram, working with Tavish Cardiff on that ego soul balance and integration. And in astrology, the ego soul balance, specifically with a Leo and Aquarius, is how do you show up? And when you show up, are you showing up authentically? Are you speaking from the heart? And if you're not speaking from the heart, from where you're speaking, and if it's a pandering to the audience, which is certainly a Leo shadow energy, then what happens is that the Aquarian authenticity of an attachment to truth can easily interfere with that really nice balance between this is how I'm showing up and this is what I'm giving to my community in a way that I give freely. I give without any level of simmering resentments or being the martyr. Because if you're martyring yourself, what are you getting out of it? So, ourrawmaterial.com, beliefisnotrequired.com. And this full moon, remember, Venus is in humility seeking Virgo. So integrate the Mary part of yourself that recognizes the sacred task and the sacred qualities in everything that you do and the humility from that with the Martha part of yourself, which is the conscientiousness of integrating the spiritual and the physical.